Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Dog Pound tonight. We decided to make this a new name, call it the Dog Pound. I'm going to be your host tonight, and tonight we also got a co-host, Mr. Steve Hooker Thomas, in the house. Say hello to everybody, Mr. Steve.
Hey, how are you?
Mr. Don R. on the wing over there. How you doing, Mr. Don? And Randy and Adam are going to be producing tonight. They're going to be bringing in all of our different things that's going on and different videos. I hope we're going to have a hot show for you tonight for sure. Appreciate everybody that's come in, everybody in chat, and hope you're going to enjoy it. We'll say hello to some people out there in the chat to start off with. Looks like first offhand tonight we got Miss Katie Collins, one of the pro staff members in the house there. Hello to you, Miss Katie. Mr. Abbott, also a pro member there. Get Hooked, Colorado State.
Yeah, that's Jay.
And Hilly Billy Hondo, how you doing, sir?
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Hope everybody's having a great Sunday night for sure. For sure. I thought tonight what we would do to start off the show is go over some things. I'm kind of new with the pro staff. I've only been doing it a couple of weeks and have had these little guard dogs. I call them self hookers, but you see the pack here. They're one of the most awesome things I ever seen. They call them the automatic fish hooker. And when I first started out, I used them to start off with on a live fishing show we were doing. And I had Monty in the background going, "Don't do this, Daryl. Daryl, do that. Stop doing it that way." So I was actually learning on the fly with this thing. And I got tickled because I'd do something wrong. Monty would hit me up on a text, "Turn your rod over." So I thought, you think for a little piece of metal like this, and don't think that there's nothing to it, because I want to go through a few of the things that there are with it. You think, oh well, you just throw it on your rod and you just let it go. But there's really certain ways to hook these things up, and I wanted to go over a few do's and don'ts that I know, and have Mr. Don and Steve and Adam and Randy all chime in also of some things they've known that they've done to help make this work better for them also. But one of the first things that hello to you, Mr. 922 Crappy Barbecue. Say welcome to the Dog Pound. Let's go fishing with it. But I wanted to just talk about a few things. When we first got it, we're men. Let's just face it. We don't always read directions. You know what I'm talking about?
Not all of us.
We sometimes look at pictures, and I looked at the little guard dog picture, and I was like, "Oh, that looks easy." So I thought, well, I look at this, and it's got an L and an H on it. So I'm figuring out that's light and heavy, and I see the hose in it. So I start trying to thread my little line through one of the hoses here. And I'm like, okay, I fish in current. I'm going to thread one through the hole there.
It'll work, I guess.
Hey, I never said I was the sharpest knife in the drawer. I'm just glad I'm still in the drawer, okay? So found out right quick that was not the way to do it.
How long did it take you, though?
Hey, we don't have to go there, do we? Come on now. 2 hours later, no.
Gray Wolf, JBT.
I said, let me
Chuck
look
Pollock.
let me look at some directions. And I was like, okay, light and heavy. I looked at the direction and I said that
Gray Wolf.
I had that much right, Mr. Anthony J. So then I was like, okay. So what you really do is you tie it around this where you can slide it wherever you want to. So let's just say you're fishing a lake, you have no, and you're fishing, let's say for bluegill. So you're going to want to set it all the way over here on light. So if I'm fishing for bluegill trying to catch bait, when I'm catfishing, I'm a catfisher myself. I'm going to set it like that. But when I get in, like heavy current like we've got right now on Tennessee River, I'm going to slide it all the way over on heavy. And if you guys notice, I didn't just loop it one time. And actually, Monty sent me that too. He's like, loop it 2 or 3 times. When you do it, where it'll stay tighter. And can you bring me up just solo right there? There you go.
Yes,
and
sir.
Notice I've got it looped around. It looks like 2 on that side, but over here it actually shows 3. You can see the light and heavy on there. So if you loop it like that and tie it, and it makes it a little tighter, it won't slide around when you're resetting it. Okay, thank you. So I learned that little trick. So the don't on this one is don't go through that little hole, because it's going to be a lot aggravating whenever you do different fishing. You just can slide it around where it goes. don't do the Daryl, Mr. Trophy Seekers Outdoor, and try to stick it through the hole. So that was one don't for sure. And the do is when you tie it, loop it around a couple of times. That way it won't slide. I found if you just loop it around once and tie it a little bit tight, it's a little light. So let's do that. Another thing, I'm out there fishing and I've got it hooked up and I've got it all set up and I've got I fish with bait casters. And so, bait caster, you don't turn to the bottom, you put it top. Monty's over there, Daryl, he's texting me, flip your bait caster over, it'll work better. I'm like, that's the problem. So if you got a bait caster and you got it in your rod holder, flip your bait caster over. I had a guy tell me, he says, well, if I flip it over,
What's up,
how do
Tom?
I reel my rod to hook him? It's already hooked, my friend. When this rascal goes off, he's already hooked. You just go up there and flip your rod over in the holder and start reeling him in, So you don't have to worry about that. Make sure your spinning reel, it's already going to be down, but make sure that when you put these on, if you're using a bait caster, turn your bait caster over. And that way everybody that comes walking through looks like, look, he's a first year guy. Look at him. He's turning his dang bait caster over like a spinning rod. But that's my advice on that. Also, if you're using these, use the rod that has the biggest eye on it. Monty's got some more that's going to be made for a smaller eye. And I've got 2 examples here that I want to show. If we can bring me back up again on solo. All right, this is an Uncle Lou's rod, and it's got a smaller eye. And the guard dog will go in and work on it, but it's just a little tight for it to jerk out. This rod here has a bigger eye, and as you can see, whenever the guard dog goes in there, it'll flip out a lot easier. So use it on this particular model on the bigger eye ones. Okay, thank you. Because it just works a lot better.
Welcome, Lisa.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just welcome.
Oh, that's great.
You're good.
I think it's going to be about 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully, by the time CatCon gets here, you'll have these come back, and they'll be from the anodizer. I think is how you say that. And he'll have the other ones available. But one great thing that I like about these, they're made in USA. I love supporting our great USA. But that's the big things that I know that you don't do with these things. Always remember to put your line through the fork, stick it in that rod, and like I say, go fishing and have a good time. So, guys, do y'all got any do's or don'ts that you want to talk about that you've experienced? Because I know you guys have experienced a lot more than me, but y'all may be a lot smarter than me too. So, and it wouldn't take much.
Let's not get crazy now.
Good evening,
Yeah.
in favor. Lisa.
Hey, everybody.
Having your rod, more vertical than,
Yeah.
too much
Good
of
one.
an angle. If you have it way down there and you put the guard dog in and your line's way out there, it's not going to properly release.
Right.
That'd be my most
That's a good
Stand
one.
that rod. Yeah. Stand that rod as straight as you can in the rod holders because it gives it more of an angle to pull it off for sure. Well, Mr. Austin, Miss Lisa, how are you doing?
How's everybody doing? I was trying to text, but that wasn't working out very well for me, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got to practice now.
Yeah, stand that rod up. And boat anglers too. We've got another product that's going to be coming out, and I don't have it with me. Mr. Monty sent me one, and I'll be doing a video on it next week, where we can swing. These are a little bit hard if you're on a boat to reach out there and hook them up. So we have a bracket, and I think y'all may have a video on that. Y'all have a video on that? How the bracket works? I think.
Oh,
Monty,
yeah, I can throw it up
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
It's
it's a
on
new
here.
Got it
bracket
on.
for boats where you can swing the rods around and your rod holder around, and then hook it and then swing it back out. I'm going to be doing one where I'm actually doing it on the boat next week, and it might not even be out on the water. It may be in the backyard, but I'm going to put those on the rod holders. I got 2 of them, and it's going to make it a lot easier on a boat because when you're on a boat and you're trying to put this in, and you have to bring it in, and you put it inside there, and you got to get that pressure, and you got to keep that pressure on there to get it bent like that. And if you let that loose while you're doing it, it'll fall off with you. So the easy way is to bend the rod, then hook this up. So the brackets are going to make it that a lot easier to do it that way also. So
I'll throw that video up right now. You guys can check it out. I'm sure a lot of people know, but we'll keep it going because it's not out yet. And
Hey guys, here's the little rod holder plate bracket that we're going to be putting on our rod holders for a boat to allow the guard dog rods to swing in and out of the boat to set up your guard dogs. It'll come with a plate, a couple washers, and your carabiner. But you'll just simply take off your rod holder in your boat, unscrew it, put your little washer, then your plate, then a washer on, and screw it back down. I've got this little thumb nut that I like using to secure my rod holder once I've got it back out over the water. But it's as simply as just basically swinging your rod in. I'm using one hand here. Let me see if I can do this. Put the little nose on there. You got the rod set up with a guard dog. You're inside your boat at the side of the boat. Then you just simply swing it back out over the water. The little plate will swing with it. Works out real nice. And then you can just tighten your thumb screw to tighten down your rod holder. That's going to work great. But I also found a way that I'm going to use my plates and attach them actually to the claws rod holders for the bank. The reason for this is with a little 3.5-inch extension, when I set my rod down in there and my reel is sticking out, the tension string, this allows the tension string to actually come up at an angle that misses your reel. So you don't have to worry about your tension line getting into your reel when you're cranking or setting it up. I think it's going to work out real nice. Tight lines, guys.
there you go. Good job. Thanks.
yeah, so it's gonna be nice because it's a multi-tool that you can use for a couple different things too, not just for boat.
Yeah. And you might think, okay, I'm on a boat. It's not like I'm gonna be wandering off from my rods and all. But think how many times, if you're a boat fisherman and you guys are out there know what I'm talking about, where you're reeling up, you've caught one, you've reeled it in, you've got your back to your rods, showing it off to the camera, taking pictures, and you got a rod going off behind your back that nobody's seen it going off. How many times have you missed like
Buggy.
Or you're
So,
trying to bait up another line or something. Oh yeah, all the time.
yeah,
It's gonna be good for, outside boat rod holders,
Yeah.
especially with the T-bars, because the middle one, and if you like T-bars I use, you're gonna have the 3 sets of 3 on a T-bar. So the middle one, you won't be able to rotate that all the way in the boat. You might be able to angle it, but you'll be hitting other rods. So
Well,
it could be utilized for the outsides.
yeah. Well, let me say this: I'm gonna experience with that next week because I'm thinking now. I have the rod holders. Mine are monster rod holders that have 3 different angles. I'm thinking I can set my outside rod all the way down, swing my inside in, set it up, swing it back out, then set my other rod up, my outside rod holder up, swing it back in, hook it up, and swing it back out. You see what I'm saying there? If I set
Yep.
my inside rods first and leave my other rods on the lower settings, then I can work from the inside out and do it that way. That's what I'm going to try to see if that works next week or not. Like I say, I use the monster rod holders on mine, and other rod holders may be different, but most all rod holders have 1 or 2 settings of vertical. So if I set it on my lowest and swing my rod around, I think that may work, but I want to make sure because
Yep.
you don't want to. I don't want to have to use the guard dog on just a couple of my rods. I want to use it on all of them because I know me, I'm a big mouth. Nobody's ever said that. I just know that about myself. Then I'll get to talking with my partner or, doing lives. You're trying to read chat, all that stuff, cooking you a hot dog or whatever on a hot plate. All that stuff will cause you not to see one of your rods get hit. And I mean, why not have a guard dog out there that automatically hooks it? So
Yep.
NC House, Bugman. Good to see you.
Yeah, Buggy. We just actually we've been live for about 17 minutes now, so you haven't missed much. So stay tuned. We'll be live for a while yet.
Turn the time and you can read some of that chat for sure.
Yeah. Anybody got questions out in the crowd here? Just let us know.
Yeah, if
Questions we'll answer.
Yeah, if anybody has a question about the guard dog while you're out there, looks like we got a Facebook user.
Yeah, that Facebook person is Jerry Hager. So hi, Jerry. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, how's it going, Jerry?
Mr. Gray Wolf, how you doing, sir?
Hey, okay. Okay.
We don't want to make the whole show about the guard dogs, but anybody has a question on it, of
Okay.
how it works, and you can watch some of my lives. Actually, the Winners Blues tournament, we used these. We caught the first 2 on these. The only problem I had with these in Winter Blues was we were getting so much the ice. We were fishing in it was -2 wind condition out there that day, and the eyes of the rods was freezing up, and it was causing these to freeze in there. Well, that's not something that happens very often, but so I had to stop. But the first 2 fish we caught was using the guard dogs, and some folks up north said, "Hey, Daryl, I don't know, maybe you're just not smart enough to know, but if it's below freezing, spray your rod tips with oil. With WD-40, you won't have that problem." So next time, actually, there's WD-40 on my boat now, so I'll be spraying the tips of my rods and I won't have that problem. So there's another pro tip. Get that pro tip?
If it goes off and there's rocks or hard surface below you definitely hear a ting.
Yes.
Yeah, it dings off my boat and it dings off my bucket and off the ice. So it does. But I would suggest putting bells on it because that's just added security.
But the other thing is, if you didn't see it go off and you turn around and it's gone, if it's off your rod and your rod's been over, you got him. Or if it's just not there, you got it, So that's the one good thing. But yeah, and the other thing, don't forget, if you're going to move, here's the other thing that I've made sure. Pro tip number 2. When you bring these out, when you're going to move and you've got 6 of these set up and you let them drop off, make sure to remember to get them out of the water because it could be Hades on a prop.
It happened to me, actually. Yeah. Caught a fish and then I went to go move spots and I forgot my guide dog and it hit my prop.
Yeah.
Lost it.
Welcome in, Fresno. Fish Head.
Yeah.
Fish Head.
You know, Daryl, this might be a good point here to play that video we were talking about earlier. Mary was asking about the ting and
Yes,
the
sir. Go
bells,
ahead.
right?
Yeah, let's
And if you don't hook it, it hooks itself, right? Most of the time. So if you want me to, I can bring up that video.
That'd be awesome.
That answer both their questions and then some. We might have to turn up the volume on this one, guys. I'm not sure how loud the volume is, but let's give it a try.
We got one on, baby. On the guard dog, baby. Survey says, ooh, nice crappie, dude. Oh, came right out of his mouth. Nice 10-inch crappie at least. Oh yeah, he's frozen. Did you get caught on the guard dog? You're right there. On the guard dog.
There you go.
There you go.
That's pretty awesome.
Getting it done.
Yeah.
Get her done.
Yeah. And the great thing about these aren't made of plastic that's going to just break them or whatever. They're made for the long haul. The only way that these are going to quit working is if you lose them, I guess. So, you know, that they're made out, I guess it's aluminum.
6061
Yeah.
aircraft aluminum.
Yeah, I was just about to read that off of this card over here. Yeah. Aircraft aluminum, 6061-T aluminum, aircraft grade. So it's very strong. It doesn't bend easy. So it's a great deal. And have y'all heard? We also got something new. They sell these in singles or they sell them in dog packs. And a dog pack is 3 at one time. And you save a little money on that. Or they sell them in dog pound size. And you know, that's even more. So that's 5 in a pack. So
Yikes.
yeah. So if you want to, if you're planning on putting them on all your rods, you can buy one, or you can buy a dog pack of 3 or a dog pound of 5. So guys, go over to if we can, do we have that email address up? It's www.guarddogproproducts.com. Again, that's www.guarddogproducts.com all together. You can see all the different stuff that's sold over there. Not just that, but the hats and shirts and all kind of great stuff. But like I say, I really like them, and I'm putting them on all my stuff. And it's just, we sit back. Everybody knows Woody, another pro strapper, and fishes me all the time. And we're just sitting back, anticipating. It's the fun of just watching and to see these things go off in the rod, because we bend them hard, guys. I'm just going to tell you. And to see the rod go off, Woody goes, "Do you think that's too much?" I said, "Well, all I can say, if a 2-pound catfish hits him, we won't have to reel him in." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Because he's going to be slung all the way back into the boat."
Good evening, Jody. Nice to see you.
Miss Jody, how you doing? You know, I don't know if y'all know it or not, but she's practicing right now. She is practicing for the catfish cook-off at CatCon. So every year they
I wanna let people know though as well for the guard dog. When you go order them, make sure you use our promo codes, because you're gonna save 10% off. Not only on just if you order multiple guard dogs, you're gonna save them on your entire order. So that's 10% off. So you're gonna always save money on that. So just make sure you use those promo codes.
Yeah.
It's pretty much our first name and 10, as you can see in the in the most of the things. So it'll be like Adam 10, Randy 10, Daryl 10, Don 10, Steve 10. It's pretty consistent across the board.
Mine is actually TSO 10. Mine and Woody just combined ours together.
Okay.
We're TSO.
That's right.
I want to make it real easy. So it's
for
Trophy Seekers Outdoor TSO 10 is what we are.
Good to know.
Jody, thanks for coming.
And I'm Hooker 10.
Hello, Miss Jody.
Hooker tan. No, man, you got all creative on me, man. I just went Randy tan. I wasn't feeling too creative.
Yeah, we got a hooker in the house. He said if it'll freeze up a little bit, he's gonna show you how he hooks them. So we'll
Well,
see.
That's
you
what
was
I'm
talking
fixing
about
to do.
that new thing swinging your poles out. So I got a hooker and a swinger. I didn't know what
There
was
you
going on
go.
here for a second. I thought I was in the wrong chat there for a second.
They were just trying to liven it up a little bit.
Uh-oh. JBT, you behave over. He said, I thought Daryl was going to say Jody is pregnant. He said Jody is practicing. All right, now.
Hey,
Family show.
That's just wrong.
Anyway, she's
what's
practicing
up, JBT?
for the cat con there. But yeah, if anybody got any more questions out there, feel free to ask, because I say it's real fun, but it's real important also, especially like I say, if you're fishing like we do. We fish a lot of tournaments, and right now myself and James, which is Cool Cats Catfishing, are in the lead in points on the live catfish league that we're doing, with one event coming up, and that event is going to be called the Whisker Bowl, and it's February the 10th from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll be fishing that along with Catfish Jody will also be fishing it. Fish Shizzle will be fishing it. Also, Stand 3 will be fishing it. Just all the people that's in the tournament. And whoever wins that tournament will win the points. The points are so close that whoever wins that tournament will win the points for the year. The top 3 teams are within 2 points of each other. So myself and James are fished together, and we're 2 points in front of the second and third place team, and then the fourth place team is behind by I think 8 points. And the winner receives 15 points, and then the second place is 8. So whoever wins this will win the whole deal. And this has been a whole year thing going. So pretty good if you can win it. And it's just been a battle back and forth. So it's a cool little deal we're doing there. So catfish world is actually making some strides forward that people are recognizing. You know, it was looked at as a poor man's sport for a long time, but I'm going to tell you what, those poor people that didn't realize how much fun it is to catfish are realizing that catfishing is making a fast move upward. And we got a lot of great people out there that's helping with it, like Guard Dog, and, you know, the sponsors like I've got was Catfish Sumo, Monster Rod Holders, and all these guys, Demon Dragons. They're really pushing us out there and getting the word out that, you know, it's not just bass fishing or crappie fishing out there. There's all kind of fishing, trout fishing. I mean, these things will work anywhere and on any type of fish, as far as I know. But I do got to ask you a question, Randy, right quick. How thick was that ice you was fishing on, man? It looked like it was like 1 inch thick at best, and that was scaring me out there. You out there? I thought, man, how deep?
Well, you know, the property owner won't even let anybody on till it's at least 4 inches. So if you see me on that property, it's going to be at least 4. I think that day, we're getting close to that though, because we had a couple warm days before it. So yeah, I'm not going to say it wasn't a little sketch, but it was at least 4 inches. And at 4 inches, I mean, there is no safe ice, as they say, for ice fishermen. But at 4 inches, that's pretty solid ice, as long as it's fresh ice and not refrozen over time. So I was safe.
Yeah. Okay. It just
Yeah.
looked like it was.
It looked a lot thinner than it was. Yeah, it was at least 4, probably 5 inches. So I was
But I
fine.
guess it was such clear ice too. I was like, man,
Right?
awful thin.
It-
So-
Yeah, Adam. Hey, Jay was asking for some more info about CatCon.
CatCon. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about CatCon. That is fast coming up, guys. If you haven't got your tickets, you can always order those tickets ahead of time, because the lines really get long there. I love going to CatCon. It's fun. It's a great thing to be. CatCon will be February the 23rd and 24th in Louisville, Kentucky. A huge place. I think there's 142 companies that's going to be there. Actually, Guard Dogs will be there. They'll have a booth there. So get out there, guys, and check out this product. Meet the pro staff that'll be there. I know there'll be several of us there. I'll be there. I don't know how many others will be there, but I know I'll be there. I won't always be in the booth. I'm going to go visit for a little while, but I have a booth also. Will be for the gathering. But everybody. I mean, there's so many people out there and so many vendors out there. If there's a rod you want, or a net you need, or a line you should want, it's going to be right there. And so many people that have so much good information. There's also a corner there in CatCon that it's a place for all the YouTubers that make YouTube videos for you to go meet with them. You can always ask them questions about catfishing, what part of the country they fish in, and stuff like that. It's just a wonderful place. All the who's who of catfishing will be there for sure. So don't miss that, February the 23rd and 24th. And come by and visit the Guard Dog people. Come by. Our booth is the gathering booth, because we have a big YouTube gathering in Tennessee. And I'll talk more about that in a few minutes, but I'll be right next to the Munster Rod Holders area there at CatCon also. So get out there and visit that. Steve's a great guy, really loves to work with everybody. And it's just a cool deal for sure. There it is right there. Come up. If you look over towards the left top side of the graph there, that's where right there, that's going to be where Guard Dog's at. He's circling it with the little mouse right there. And then in this bottom right hand corner, you can see where the Mad Cats is. I'm between the Mad Cats right there, the gathering between Mad Cats and the kids area there. And I'm a big kid, so I am so excited about going to be right there. Chunky, a lot of guys, you guys probably don't know it, but Chunky Chicken's going to be there. He'll be out giving candy to the kids, and it's going to be a great time for sure. So guys, make sure to be there. But anyway, Steve, I know you said you live in Utah and you catfish, and you was wanting to ask some questions about how we catfish down here in the South differently than you do up in Utah.
Right. So I had a couple questions. So before I got with Guard Dog, like I had my news feeds didn't really come up with catfish and stuff. Well, now since I met all you catfishing guys, all my news feeds packed with catfishing info. And now my question is, does this stuff really work? And how do you use it? Because I don't know what some of these things are called. So like their one rig's called a chunky rig. I don't know who makes it, but it looked like a float with some hooks on it. Right. And does that work for like a river, a lake? Would it work for, channel cat versus what you guys are chasing?
Yeah. They call those spooks, and I use the Demon Dragon. And everybody knows I'm sponsored by Demon Dragon. I don't have one up here. I would show it. But to answer your question, I absolutely 100% believe in rattles and floats. One thing, and it's, everybody's got their thoughts on which ones and all that. But one thing the float does is everybody thinks that catfish are bottom feeder. They eat poop and all this stuff. Total. That's just a total misrepresentation of a catfish. You don't want your food just laying on bottom, and I'm not saying they won't bite it like that. I mean, everybody knows you catch bluegill and the worm can lay on bottom, but the best bet is to let it float up off the bottom a little bit. They feed, and especially flatheads feed from the bottom up, and they come up on their food. And my thought is too, before I started using rattles, 99% of what I caught in the Tennessee River was blue cats. When I started using rattles, and I'll just let you know, I used just a little 3-inch with some rattles on it. When I went to doing that, I started catching flatheads a lot more. And of course, I fished the river, but that rattle I felt like aggravated a flathead, and he didn't like it. And flatheads are very, very territorial, and that caused them a reaction, whether they were wanting to eat or not. I felt like if you dropped that down in their face, in their area, that they wanted that out of their area, and they'd grab that bait and run with it to get it out of their area, sort of like a bass does when they're betting. And just like I told people, me and James was fishing the tournament last Saturday, and he was fishing. His rods was on the right side, and mine were on the left side. We caught 3 flatheads. Guess which side it was on? On the left side that had the Demon Dragon rattles on it. With 24 and probably about a 8 and about a 5. So all of those were caught on the rods that had the rattling Demon Dragons on it. So I'm real big on bringing my bait up off the bottom. And just remember also that we are in a river, so we got current that's consistently rattling that rattle. Now, in a lake, I don't know that the rattles would be so important, but I still think floating it up off the bottom is. But there's a lot of people that do what's called dragging. They'll use planer boards, and they're dragging those weights. So when they're dragging, and anytime the bottom's rattling that line, it's causing rattles. So in a lake, it's used that way too. People go, well, does it scare the fish off? I in no way think it scares a fish off. I'm not saying for sure it always helps with blue cats, but I know it does with flatheads, just because I started catching a lot more flatheads when I started using the Demon Dragons or either the floats with the rattles on. So yeah, I think so. I usually keep my Demon Dragons or my floats about 3 inches from behind my hooks. I crimp everything on my lines. And so I usually use about 3 to 4 inches of line off my Demon Dragon, because I don't want that Demon Dragon going deep in his mouth, and then he opens his mouth and the Demon Dragon comes out and the hook comes out with it. I want to hook him with that 3 or 4 inches of line behind there. So I think that Daryl has a couple sponsors of Spooks and Rattles. I do. I'll just say this: Catfish Sumo also sells Spooks too, and I don't talk about them because I'm sponsored by Demon Dragons, and that was something we all agreed on. But they do have a good one also. But I really think they do good. A good circle hook is a must with a great barb on it, and that is one thing that we was fishing live Wednesday, I think it was, and a guy with me was trying to unhook one fish. He said, "Good Lord, what kind of hook is this?" I said, "Catfish Sumo, baby, get you a pack." I mean, they got a barb that sticks out on them so good to get off, but a good circle hook. When we fish for the big fish, that especially in a river because of rocks, we have a heavy leader that we use. Like I use a 40-pound monofilament, but I use a 150-pound leader because of the rocks and stuff. So,
Dang.
yeah.
Well, Daryl, if you can't talk about them, I can. I'm also pro staff for the Catfish Sumo. So let me get the camera right. So these are, I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, they're more subtle. But yeah, this is fun to play with. I'm still trying to figure it out myself, though.
Yeah, you guys come to Tennessee, we'll play with those things.
Yeah, because we always just do like a Carolina rig, but it's always on the bottom. So I mean, it does make sense that you'd want to kick it up.
Yes,
but like I said, I've never seen nothing like that until after I started hanging out with you catfishing guys, and now I'm starting to learn all sorts of little tricks.
Right. It's no different than putting a float on when the bluegill won't hit on the bottom. Just float that bait right up off it. Especially you're looking at, if you're looking at your graft, and a lot of times the catfish are holding real tight to the bottom. And so when you're throwing it out there, if you throw it right on top of them and they're just laying there, they'll just come up and take it. Or I caught a 74-pound flathead, and I landed that thing right on top of him just as soon as it hit the ground or hit the bottom with the sinker. I mean, he just come up and took it. I just think that it makes a difference for them to get it up in that water channel just a little bit, and makes it easier.
That makes
You gotta
sense.
hunt it. Sir. So Mr. Oliver in there, John Oliver. How you doing today, Rustic? I don't know if we said hello to you, but that's Randy says I use Nocturnal Nation hooks. Yep, that's good. Demon Dragon since I'm with them. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
like I said, I don't know all the different names. Like I said, I just barely seen these few weeks ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, my
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to buy the Demon Dragons, if that's the product you want to use, you can use Chunky 20. If you want to buy Catfish Sumo stuff, you can use TSO 10. That gets you 10% off that way. The Chunky 20 gets you 20% off. People starting out, and it helps. Every little bit helps. Catfish Sumo stuff is free shipping, so you get free shipping and 10% off if you use TSO 10. And I'm sure, Randy, you've got probably a code also they can use besides TSO 10, right?
I'd have to see because I don't know which one I use now. So many
Okay.
codes, so little time. But yeah, I've got their bait fisher. I got their bait fishing rods. I got their spinning rods.
Yeah.
And like Daryl was saying, their hooks, man. I've hooked into some monsters, and these things, there's no flex to them.
Yeah.
They're solid. They're solid hooks. I like the octopuses, size 6.
Yeah. They
John, you're late.
get hooked. I use a Catfish Sumo. They're called hangry hooks. Because we can, 2 weeks ago we caught a 101.5 pound blue cat. And so we've got really big catfish there. So I use the 10-aught Catfish Sumo hangry hooks. They've got 8-aughts and stuff. You can go to their website, also catfishsumo.com, and look at their stuff. But it's according to what size fish you have in your area, and that's one thing when I named my show Trophy Seekers Outdoors. And a trophy is what you concern, what you think a trophy is in your area. A 10-pound catfish may be the trophy, man. So chase your trophies, hunt what's reasonable, and use hooks that would work in your area. I fished in lakes in Georgia for a long time, and I used 5-aught hooks for catfish. So.
Yep. I wanted to throw this out here since we kind of passed up on the subject, but the rattles, I use the tidal weight. You can see the picture above me on the left hand side. He makes some rattles. Let me show you a picture quick of what I do. I usually use them with channels. I do it with flatheads as well, but they work great. And he does all the custom painting with them. Let me just see where this is here. He is tidal weight sinkers. You can see it in the fish's hand. That's pretty much the same kind of Demon Dragon style. But if you go to his Facebook page, that's where you can get them. He also sells sinkers, awesome coin sinkers. I think he goes up to 16-ounce sinkers, like disc sinkers. Here's all his different spooks. You can get 4 packs for $12. But that's all I kind of used for that style rattle, and they work great. I've caught plenty of channels with them, and I have caught some flatheads as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And don't turn yourself with colors. I've caught on every color. I mean, the 101 we caught on a purple one, So
yeah, I think it's more than
just trying to get it in the
colors
zone.
always look cool.
Yep, get it in the zone. People say, "What do you use for catfishing?" I use bluegill. I use crappie. I use skipjack. I use anything that's legal to fish with. I've even the biggest blue cat that I've caught on chicken. So I mean, what's in your? Let me say it this way: what's in your river or lake? That's what you want to use to fish for your catfish.
What about hot dogs, Daryl? Have you ever used hot dogs? For some people, I've seen videos. I've never caught one with a hot dog though.
I have not, but I'm not saying it won't work.
It works on channel cats.
Let me just put it this way. Here's my thing. When I'm fishing in Tennessee River, I'm fishing with bait way bigger than a piece of hot dog. So yeah, I'm fishing with bluegill the size of your hand and skipjack that size and all.
Nice.
I'm not a baby fish. No, I'm not saying baby, a small fish to chaser. Like I know there's channels in there. I don't chase the channels. I just love the thrill of hooking onto those big fish. And every time
Big bait, big fish, right?
yes, sir.
That's
And
what they say.
hey, I've caught them on pieces of bait that big too. So you never know.
Right.
But
my buddy uses he'll use some giant suckers,
yeah,
like 16 inches.
Jesus.
I gotta
16
find this
suckers.
video here.
Yeah.
I find this video now. I'm determined to find it.
He's going
But
for
it's-
shark.
I mean, it's
I was gonna say.
crazy watching it.
Red horse suckers. I mean, man, whatever's in your river or your lake, let me tell you, that's what your catfish are feeding on. They're not feeding on. They're not bottom fish feeders. They're not eating cow turds and all that stuff like people think. Yeah, chicken livers work good for channel cats and all that stuff, but for the big blues and the big flats, you're wanting big bait and the stuff that they are eating in there, and as fresh as you can get it. And look, I vacuum seal a skipjack and I vacuum seal bluegill, but 99% of the time, especially if I'm fishing tournament, I'm going either early that morning to catch them or the day before and keeping them alive, or keep putting them on ice, either one, because I've caught plenty of good fish on frozen bait, but the better, the fresher, the better is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I agree. I use a lot of
Here's
chub
that
meat.
video. You can keep talking. Well, I don't know if it's speak over.
you're
it, but
good.
I just want to show this giant. I think it's a giant sucker. I can't remember now.
JBT said I use 8/0 and 10/0 hooks.
He starts in the bitchin', you said, buck up and huff it, bub, your fence needs fixing.
That's a good sized bait.
He's
And he's got the float on there as well. He's got one of those demon dragons on it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm having this summer.
Most time when I'm fishing with 6 rods, and at least 3 of them is going to have a hucking bait on it, a big piece of bait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
She could do 6.
James Cool Cat, he catches up at Watts Bar. They catch huge skipjack. I'm talking about pushing 3 pounds. You imagine a 3-pound skipjack's got a head on it about this big around, and you're cutting that head off and fishing with that. He'll bring some, and I'm like, good Lord, what a piece of bait. Give it here.
Yeah, here we can use 1 inch by 1 inch squares. That's it.
Yeah. Try some chicken.
That's no fun.
Chicken breast or chicken thigh, boneless chicken thigh. Cut it up in 1 inch pieces and try that.
Yeah, well, so like I said, with all the catfishing guys, I was asking a couple the other day about the Jello and chicken and the coffee and all that. Because to me, that sounded so bizarre, but I guess it actually works.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try it.
Yeah. Hey, people think
you got to try everything.
Crazy too, but it works.
Oh, dude, I'm down for anything that I think is going to give me an edge. And I'm one of them kind of guys you could be like, hey, this is going to work. And it could be so far out in left field. Dude, deep down, I'm still going to try it because you brought it up. And maybe, just maybe it might work. But how do I know unless I tried it?
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, I would say that if you're going to use not live bait, what works really good for me is just the head, dude. Sometimes just the tail, but most of the time, if I'm using bait that's I thawed it out or whatever, I'll use just the head, just enough, and put the circle hook through. And man, you'd be shocked. I've caught largemouth bass on just a crappie head. It's crazy, or a bluegill head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got a nice walleye last year on a head.
Well, the hardest part is just getting it down to be under an inch. I mean, that's the stupid part. Like, dude, some of the laws we have here are just
get a small fish then. Just a small fish. You get the small head, 1 inch head, you'll be all right.
Right? Dude, if you perch eyes work really well. Like I do really good with them things, but I think heads would be amazing if I could get them small enough.
What if you cut a couple inch pieces and put more than one on a hook. Can you do that?
No, you can only have 1 inch by inch square piece. Like, it's so dumb.
Wow.
Oh,
Darn.
that's actually a legal term up there. That's as big as you can use.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
That's just sad.
Yeah.
Makes me want to cry right here, but you know, people are watching
You
me.
can't have gilded shad. You can't use any of them. They're illegal to use here.
Jeez Louise. Surprised you catch any fish at all, brother.
They must all be
Judgment
Democrats up
first.
there.
Here we go. Let's see how many people jump off the live now.
Save the fish. You can only use one by one.
Oh, what the hell, man? That's craziness. That's crazy.
Well, do we have any giveaways today? Anybody want to start off with a giveaway?
I think
I think we got a big giveaway coming up here. Want to grab up the wheel? I'll grab the wheel.
I'm going to drop down and chat for a while.
All right, Don.
Sounds good, Don.
See you, Don.
Hey, buddy.
All right. So what are we giving away here, Steve? Why don't you show the folks?
I got a nice brand new bearded hooker hat.
Oh,
Cool.
baby. And just to clarify, no pro staff, please. This is only for the non-pro staff people in the chat because y'all be stealing all my stickers and stuff, man. Let's
Hey, it looks good on my thermos, though.
He said,
I'm just kidding, brother.
he said, get back, Jack. All you pro staff, stay out.
All right, I'm going to share the hashtag if you want to go for Steve's hooker hat because I'm eyeballing that hard. I ain't gonna lie. But let's get this for you guys here. Window hooker hat. Hashtag hooker hat. Bam. Do it.
Here goes that family show stuff again.
Yep, there we go again. Another 5 people just dropped off.
We lost 16 subs.
We'll be sitting here talking to ourselves in another 10 minutes.
Right?
Bank Fishing Adventures, how you doing?
I'm glad we're funny.
Well, if that happens, I guess I'll my vote in for a hat.
Right. Hey, guys, how you doing?
What's up, C? He said, where's the catfish on that hat?
Right?
It's a hook hunting a catfish.
Like I said, I didn't even do any. I just fish multis. I mean, I fish everything, but man, I didn't know there was this kind of catfish until I met all you guys. And wow,
Yeah, we're serious
you
about
guys
our
put up
catfish.
some big old numbers.
Yeah.
So the winner of this hat, that's the email you want to write down if you're feeling lucky, like you think you're going to win it right now. That's Steve's email to contact once you're the winner. I'm going to leave it up while we do this. That's cool. Hashtag hooker hat. Have a good good luck.
Yeah,
Good,
good
brother.
luck, guys.
Yeah, good luck trying to explain that to your wife that you're doing hashtag hooker hat.
Hey, baby, I got a hooker hat yesterday. Oh, what's these papers you just gave me? Divorce.
Hey, you guys want to hear a funny story about a hooker or anything?
Oh,
Well, not like anything.
we're down to 2 subscribers. Why not?
So I told my wife, I said, because everybody calls me hooker, and I'm like, hey, so I like to mess with my wife. I like to mess with her and just kind of get her go. And so I did this. I was like, hey, babe, I want to go get a tattoo that says hooker. And I thought she'd throw a fit, and she goes, oh, that sounds good. So we made an appointment, and I went and got one it's been a while
Man.
back.
Ain't even a tiny one neither. You ain't messing around, son.
Yeah,
Dang.
it started with me trying to get my wife's go.
You better hang on to that woman there. Don't let that one go.
Oh, I'm like, hey, I'm going fishing. She's like, here, let me make a lunch for you and all your friends. And I don't want to see you for 12 hours.
That's funny, man.
The things I could say about that, but I won't.
We got to keep our 2 subscribers.
I'll no longer be part of the pro staff. If I get started.
You had a good run, Daryl.
I had a great run while it lasted. I was
2 shows. Heck yeah, man.
2 shows and was out. Monty said, I watched that show. You're out, and you're out, and you're out, and you're out.
You are not the father.
Welcome in, Bank.
I'm gonna look in and go.
Fisherman Adventures in the house.
So
Make
while
sure
we're doing that,
10
Make sure you
entries.
smash
Come
that
on.
like button.
while
We
we're
got
doing
26
that,
people in here. I know there are more than 10 entries. So we'll let this run a little bit longer. Y'all just hashtag hooker hat. We're only going to do one giveaway tonight. So this is it. Jump on board.
hooky. All right, guys, we've been going almost an hour, so we got about 30 more minutes to go. I want to talk a little bit about the gathering, if you don't mind. A lot of people out there know about it, but it's a gathering that we have, and it's in Hickson, Tennessee. It's up on the Tennessee River, and it's at Chester Frost Park, and it's something. This is be our third year, and it is just an awesome get together. It's YouTubers from all over the United States and people that watch the YouTube. It's basically a meet and greet for everybody. We do it on May the 17th, 18th, and 19th. May 17th, 18th, and 19th. We have a pavilion that we've rented, and we have free barbecue and hot dogs on the 18th. The 17th is a Friday, so everybody's getting in on those days, and then 18th, usually from about 12 till 3 o'clock when we have to get together. But it's other than that, it's just everybody gets together, goes fishing with each other, has a great time, goes out on the boats together. I rent 3 camping spots that gives us about 200 yards of riverside. These spots do. It's a prime spot that people can go down. If they're bank fishermen, can fish off the bank there. We had a 50-something pounder caught off there, not last year, but the year before last. Lots of PBs have been caught like this. People show up. If you don't have a boat and you want to go on the river, a lot of us local ones will take you out on the river, take you down fishing and stuff like that. I want to talk about our sponsors. We have some great sponsors out there. Munster Rod Holders is our main sponsor this year. They're going to contribute to the big fish that we do. Every year we do a big fish. Last year we gave away $750 and some shirts and rods and stuff. So all added up to over $1,000 for the person that caught the biggest fish last year. But also sponsors, we got National Paddle Pond, Jack's Bait and Tackle, FOA Rods. And people say, well, you throw out these sponsors all the time. The reason I do that is, they're giving stuff to us to be able to give away as door prizes. We should always thank our sponsors that's helping us like that. And so Triple City Anglers or Tackle will be a sponsor, Catfish Sumo, Demon Dragons, Parker Planer Boards, Pepsi Cola, Guard Dog. All these people like Pepsi Cola will be supplying all the drinks. These guys, other people will be supplying door prizes. Last year we gave out around $5,000 worth of door prizes. If you were there, just about everybody got a door prize. Trust me, it went for like 2 hours. Colin, what we do is when you get there, come to eat, we give you a door ticket, a ticket when you come in. And then we, after we eat, and we play casting games where, we put a gallon bucket out there, and whoever puts in the bucket wins a pack of Demon Dragons. It's, and the long cast and stuff like that. And so, that's what we do. We also got online catfishing that's a sponsor, Chat Cats, which is a local guide here in Tennessee. And then we got YouTubers that's been really good to give time and money and supply stuff. Catfish Hunter TV, Fish Shizzle, Trophy Seekers Outdoors, Pontoon Jody, Cool Cats, and I probably missed some, but there's several of them that give and help with this. I can't do it my own. Oh, Bobcat Outdoors, I've left him out. I can't leave him out. All these folks has give, and y'all might hear my bulldog. I've got an English bulldog that sounds like she's dying. She's breathing hard. She's big. Coming in the room.
Oh, here comes Peter again. I hear him knocking on the door.
But it's just a fun time. Like I say, we've got some people arguing. You know, I usually do barbecue. Last year we did 35 pounds of barbecue and 100 hot dogs, and we run out right at the end. Everybody got fed, but I was like, whew, we did it. So this year we'll probably be doing about 75 pounds of barbecue. We got some folks that's arguing that they've got the best barbecue. So I said, well, y'all get about a 7-pound butt and fix it. Of course, in my mind, it's like, y'all do that, and that's the less barbecue I got to buy for this thing. But every time people give us donations, and we have a donation jar there, and you know, we take donations that help pay for that. But we don't charge one dime for somebody to come there. If you can't afford to give a dollar in the jar, that's fine with us. We just want you to come and have a great time. And like I say, we have so many people come and show up, and I think the first year we had 5 different people that caught fish was their PB, and about 3 of them was over 40 pounds. So it was a good weekend.
Nice.
So if you guys can make time to come, if you're going to try to stay at the campground, it's hard to find spots. So you better call now, but there's plenty of hotels, bed and breakfast and stuff, because we're only like 7 miles from Chattanooga. There's lots of hotels around there, and also it's just a fun time. This year, a lot of people out there know Kenneth Powell. He passed away last year. He loved to come to the gathering. I mean, and if that man couldn't make you laugh, there was something wrong with you. He was a good man, a very good religious man, and he just passed away. And so we are calling this the KP Memorial gathering, because we're doing this in memory of KP, a great guy. So we always want to remember him, because he was such an inspiration to everybody. So I hope that we have over 100 people this year. We had almost 100 last year. And if we hit over 100 people this year, we've got one more pavilion that'll hold 300 and something people. We're going to rent it for the next year, where we can have even more people come. It's just come a really good event, and people really like to come to it. So if anybody got any questions about that, you can let us know also. Gray Wolf said, I miss my knucklehead. Yeah. He'd call everybody knucklehead. He was a funny guy.
All right, guys, we're going to do this giveaway #Hooker Hat in chat. I'll give you a few more minutes before we roll on it, just in case you jumped on. #Hooker Hat. Giant hooker tattoo on the arm, not included.
Right.
I thought you were going to say giant hooker, not included. There goes another subscriber.
It's definitely a conversation piece.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, the people coming in chat now be like, huh? What you talking about, Willis? We're up to lucky 13 on that. Why don't we spin the wheel? Sound good?
That's a good number.
Yeah.
Let's spin the wheel. Bada bing, bada boom.
There we go.
Tick, 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 tick. Bam! JBT. Oh man.
It's gonna be on eBay.
Man, we should have said no pro staff and no JBT either. We should have just thrown out that disclaimer right off the bat.
You'll see that on
kidding, Jero.
eBay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Jero.
Congrats.
I'm gonna put Steve's email back on banner here. There it is.
That's awesome. Congrats, man. Hey, thanks, Don, for throwing that up.
All right. JBT knows he won, right? Take this off. Come on, Joe.
He saw the contest the other day.
I will leave that up. Cool.
Yep, he's got it.
That's pretty
Steve also
funny.
won that contest on Facebook last week, that JBT had going. That was a nice.
I think JBT's hacking. Just gonna throw that out there. I'm just kidding.
He figured it out from last week because he didn't win.
That's pretty funny. Well, congrats, JBT. But yeah, we'll get that switched over. That's pretty cool.
Y'all just switching merchandise, huh? That's all.
Swapping,
once we
swapping.
catfish bait, like I said, we get to go try that out this spring.
Yep. All you gotta do is just try different things. You'll get on them sooner or later.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of swapping things, I give these out every show here, but I got a bunch. So if you guys are interested in something that might not focus. If you're interested in getting one of these stickers to stick on your local porta potty, go ahead and email me at the email at the bottom. I'm not responsible for any tickets you may incur from defacing public property. I'm just going to throw that disclaimer out right now. But yeah, anybody that wants a sticker, just email me and I'll get it out to you.
Nice.
Like, yeah, they
What-
look
what's
good.
going on?
Oh, man, you get that right.
Waiting to
on.
go bank fishing now. I think the ice is gonna be gone within next week.
Yeah,
Really
so
not
depressing,
sticky well.
man. So depressing. It's been a short winter,
I was so pumped this year just with the guard dogs, just to go ice
right?
fishing, even though I don't really ice fish much. I'm like, man, this is gonna be awesome. I finally can get out on the ice and actually enjoy it, doing all this stuff.
Our
and then
dogs, the
get
easy
out
catch
twice.
auto jig. I got so much more ice fishing I got to do, but not in no 60-degree weather. That ain't gonna happen.
You guys don't think it's going to turn cold again? Usually February is pretty
I'm
cold.
sure it will, but
It might, but then the ice is gonna be crap, right? Because it gets
Yeah.
thin, melts, and refreezes.
I
That's
don't know.
dangerous ice there. That's bad ice. I'll tell you right
started
now, that's
ordering
bad
up-
ice.
I started
Yeah,
ordering up all my
it's
catfish
good.
gear for,
Like I say, we live down here in Georgia. We don't know about being able to fish out on ice. We have people that think that they can walk out on ice when it's like this thick, and, search and rescues out there trying to get them.
I wish I could find that video. I watched one today on YouTube. I think it's a Russian YouTuber, but this guy was out in the middle of the lake and he must have come out through the solid side. But then he makes like a right turn and he falls through. And I kid you not, the ice looked like it was less than an inch. And he somehow dug himself out with his spikes. Luckily, he had those, dude. He gets him out. I'm talking, it's like 5 minutes of like kicking and swimming and getting out. And he gets back up and you can see him kind of walking and grunting and he falls through again, dude. Yeah, and I was watching this going, oh my God, is this guy's last video, the found video at the bottom of the lake? But yeah, he dragged his butt all the way back to the shore and talk about craziness, man. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oof."
I
That
think I
scared
would
the heck
sleep
out of
on
me.
my belly and drug myself across, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Drag yourself. I mean, put yourself in the belly. If you guys have an ice fish before, you want to spread out your weight. So if you're on thin ice and it starts to break, you want to get on your belly. You want to spread out. You want to get your spikes and pull yourself forward like that. You're distributing your weight that way. Standing up and walking on thin ice, you're just going to fall through. And if it's really deep, you might fall through and get trapped under the ice. And that'd be
Yeah.
bad.
That's
So-
good info
Rivers
there.
fishing. I don't like going on rivers ice fishing. Not at
Yeah.
all. With that current underneath.
That's scary.
scary.
Scary stuff.
I always say, don't give your family somewhere to go on Sunday like a funeral.
Right.
Use your brain.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you did to Avid, Daryl, but he wants to stick one of my stickers on your head.
He loves.
And
to
you know what? I'm going to send him one just to see if it'll happen.
He's going to have to come find me first. You know what it is? He's jealous because he got hair all over his body. We call him Sasquatch anyway. He won't stick
Yikes.
nothing except for that bald head of his. What happened was, you watch Vacation. He was in that vacation. They shot to kill him, and it just took the top off his head. And so he's bald there. Everywhere else, he's got fur. So the bald Sasquatch.
Wait, one more time.
Got your request, Hillbilly. I'll send you out a sticker. Probably Monday or Tuesday.
We've got about 2 more months here, and things should start warming up. And I'm ready for the river flow to drop back down. That's when I have my best luck. I like to see the river not quite. So everybody says you gotta have flow. You gotta have flow. Sometimes you can have too much flow. That's the biggest problem. Sometimes it's too much flow.
Is that from all the snow melt up higher?
Well, it just rain. The
Oh, is
Tennessee
it?
River, everything's going to run into it. And then, it's got all those dams and everything that they control where it won't, flood the lands and all. But, they start running when you're used to, 20,000 is normal, 15 to 20,000, and they're running 60,000 CFM a minute.
Right.
Man, it's a lot of current.
Does that usually push the fish downstream, or do they find like their little hidey holes and stay in there?
A lot of times it'll push them in deeper holes and are either like into trees where they don't have to fight the current so much,
Right.
It's just according. I mean, gosh, you think you've got, it's just like any other fish. You think you got it figured out, and man, they'll change up on you again,
Sure.
So, the biggest
Hey, so I got
people go, what's your secret to catfishing? And my biggest answer to everybody is don't go out there once every 3 months and think you're going to catch a fish. Go out there, stay on the water as much as you can. And I know everybody can't go once a week, but the more you fish, the more you learn, the more you follow the fish around. And I say that a lot, and I never hear anybody else say it, but following the fish has a lot to do with it, because this week they may be in, or for 2 or 3 weeks they may be in a deep hole, and then something changes and they'll be in the rocks, and then that changes and they'll be in trees, or they'll be on clay, red clay, everything. So finding the fish, fishing them that way until they move to somewhere else, and then you got to go find them again. And the river's continuously changing. That's the fun part about it. Is I love chasing. It's the hunt for me. I've always been a hunter, and it's
This time of day changed for you then?
Oh, absolutely. The current
Yeah.
change. I mean, because even the current change. Wintertime, I'll get started around 9, but a lot of times 2 or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock when you really get, when it's the warmest of the days, when you'll catch the fish most. So
I got a question for you.
It's a chess game. So, and then when
What do you got, Steve?
Hey, so in them great big waters, like you guys are fishing like big rivers, we got creeks compared to that. How are you guys keeping how do you keep your baits down in there and then keep them out of them big trees? And I mean, because you guys would be having some pretty good currents that you guys are fishing, especially after that runoff.
Yeah, and when you use your draft, you can see if there's trees down there or if there's rocks or whatever. But lots of weight, like what day? Friday we fished and was using 12 ounces of weight, because the river was running, 62 CFM, and you're running that much. I remember you're using I use one of the Demon Dragon Brutes, because I still want to float that up as much as I can. So that's picking up on your weights at that, plus all that current. So you've got to have a good bit of weight to hold that down to where it's not moving, and especially if you're casting to the left or to the right. Like my middle rods, I may run 8 ounces on my middle rods and run 12 to 16 ounces on my outer rods. And a lot of times you run the outer rods and they'll still start drifting down, and they'll catch on a rock or something. And then, of course, if you don't get a bite on it or whatever, you might have to go over there and get it out from under the rock or whatever. But you're hoping for it to catch something to where, you're trying to spread as much as you can out. So it's scored now. If we're running 20,000 CFM, I'm running 6 ounces of weight, It's
what kind of line are you running, Daryl? What pound test with those kind of weights?
40 pound, 30 to 40 pound.
You go braid or do you go mono, or what do you like?
Mono. I run mono. A lot of people use braid. I use mono, but most people, if they're using a braid, they still use a mono leader line.
Yeah.
Nice. But and everybody can argue which is best. It's just what I'm comfortable with, and even when we brought the 100-pound fish we brought in was on a 30-pound test. It's all in setting up the reel, making sure that your drag set up right, having a good reel that has some good drag to it. Trust your equipment, and
right.
Isn't
that the truth?
Yeah. Very few times have I had one break off because my line was only 30 pounds or whatever, or it's probably because either I got a bad spot in my line, or my reel, locked down on me and didn't realize it or whatever. But one or two times I might have had a line broke by a fish. Most of the time it's because it rubbed on a bridge column, because a lot of times we'll fish bridge columns where the current goes around that bridge. And if they get that line across, rubbing across that concrete, it's going to cut it. But most time we get in, being patient too. If we get a big fish that runs into a tree, you can either sometimes set that line down and he'll swim out, or we've set and reeled all the lines in and drifted below that tree and be able to get him out of the tree. It's just patience plays a lot when you're fishing big fish. And we talk to each other. Yeah. And we talk to each other because and we don't get mad at each other. Like Friday, I was fishing with Catfish Hunters TV, John, and he got excited and he was just really torquing that fish. I'm like, slow down, take it easy. For one thing, you're fishing deep water. If you horse one up, well, it keeps the air in. You want them to blow that air out as they're coming up, and if you don't, you got to bleed the air out of them. But you want to take your time. You don't want to, just jerk them up so fast, and you can break your line or pull the hook also if they're not hooked really good. Plus, in deep water, you don't want to pull them up fast either. So a lot of times we're talking to each other because I'll get excited or I won't think about doing this. And that's the best thing. I like to have two people together where we can coach each other. I'm far from knowing everything about catfishing, but I like it when I have a partner that, can be constructive and help you out too.
Looks like Gerald has a question for you.
Who was that?
JBT is asking, after the cold fronts and then those warm winter days, is it best to go shallow or go to structure?
After a cold front on a warm winter day, a lot of times, first thing I want to do is go chase structure. Go check the structure, see if they're on some trees, try some rocks. Like I say, it's hard to say always, and it's according to where you're at, and a lot of different factors there, and a lot of things. Try to find bait also. Where you find bait, you're going to find catfish, just like you're trying to find bass. I hate to say do one certain thing. I'm sorry, did what?
I said, sorry about that. I said, but that goes with about any species, I think. If you can find structure, you're going to find the bait fish. And that's the same as I try to hit that with if I'm chasing trout, crappie, just anything on. And I think structure is your big key on most of that.
Yeah.
That's my own personal opinion, but I'm
Process
with you.
of elimination. Process elimination is a lot to fishing. When you first go out there, the first thing I like to do is hit a ledge. If I can find a place, it comes out and then drops off pretty fast, I'm going to fish a ledge. If they're not on a ledge, I'm going to go fish structure, or I'm going to fish rocks. You start breaking down. Okay, I didn't catch any. I stopped 2 times on ledges and I didn't catch anything. So let me go fish a deep hole. Okay, I fished a deep hole and I didn't find anything there. So then it's like, let me go fish structure. Some underwater trees and stuff like that. Didn't do any good there. Then I'm going to fish rocks. I'm going to look for them till I can find them. So.
What about lighting? Have you guys ever tried like underwater lighting or anything? Does that help catch cats?
I haven't noticed it with catfish, really. And look, I am far from an expert at fishing at night. Pontoon Jody, she may be in here. She can tell you more about that. Her and James, which is Cool Cats, they fish a lot at night. Ed Evans, he fishes a lot at night. Those guys that do a lot of night fishing, those are the people that asked about it.
That's what I do all night fishing for flatheads, and everyone hates lights.
Yeah.
Lights are bad, but I mean, I've had good luck. Sometimes we have one of these spots I fish. It has a big light tower, and when we don't catch fish or we're not catching flatheads there, we'll turn it on. And it's happened where we turn it on, we'll catch like 3 of them. So I was people that are always, don't turn your lights on. I say, well, you never know. Like, they're not biting without the lights,
Right.
And that's what people say, like with the moon. When the moon's out, for flatheads, it's not as good because there's so much light. But I just take that as an advantage of fishing structure more, like trees, where it creates shade. You'll be able to kind of pinpoint areas where it's going to be darker. But
yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen that video I did with the underwater lighting. So it's actually underwater and it's like green. I've only done it for ice fishing, obviously, but and the theory is sound because the green light attracts the plankton, which attracts the bait fish, which attracts the big fish.
Right.
So when I went ice fishing last time with my green light, and I got a video on it if you want to check it out on my channel, but yeah, we were starting to catch a lot of the like panfish, like bluegills, crappies, even largemouth bass. We weren't catching any walleye until we turned the light off. Once we turned the light off, then the walleye started coming. So if you guys are ever like wondering the underwater light, yeah.
I think some fish are more, they like that dark. That's kind of like their, that's where they kind of stalk their fish, and where other fish can't see them, it's kind of surprise attack.
Like crappie fishing, I mean, you use a light for sure.
Yeah, all night with the crappies. Yep, all night with the crappies.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's even legal here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't know either. Till one day I just checked the the Colorado the fishing regulations, and there it was. It says artificial lighting is allowed. So I'm like, throw that on the ice. Besides, it looks cool. You know what I mean? The green under the ice, it like lights up everything.
Wait a minute, Steve,
So
did you
check
say
it
you
out.
can't use light either? Did you say you cannot use lighting in Utah?
Yo, it'll be surprising if you can.
He has to use 1-inch cubes. What are you talking about? He has to use bull-on cubes. There's no way they're giving him a light.
I'm just wondering if
He's lucky. He's lucky they give him a line. I mean, you know what? The new fishing regulation is you can get whatever line you want, as many rods as you want, but you can't use hooks. That's going to be your new regulation.
Dude, we just barely got to where we can have two fishing poles.
Right. Well, we're still stuck in that in Colorado.
Guess how many we can have in Tennessee? Guess how many poles we can have in Tennessee?
I can have 3.
I'm going to say Daryl can have unlimited.
As many as we can buy.
Damn, I win a prize. Win a chicken dinner.
So in Georgia also, as many as you can carry, you can use.
And they ain't outfished, right? There's no outfishing because there's more rods. I don't know what these people are thinking. You know what I mean?
You're in a
Just
bad
silly.
spot. It don't matter if you got 1 rod or 26. You're in a bad spot.
See, look,
Get out of fishing, Lisa.
JBT had a good idea. He's using his green crappie light on the bank, and then he throws a net to catch them. Yeah, because throw nets again are legal in Colorado too. So that's a great idea, Gerald. I didn't even think about that. Throw that out there with I got a pretty long one. I don't know. It's like at least 10 feet. So I could just like I usually bring a jackery or a battery pack and then just throw it out there. And then I like that idea. The fish will come, throw the net on them. Bam. Free bait.
What kind of jackery do you got?
I don't know. It's a big ass one back here. I have to look. Ugh. It's probably more than I ever needed.
I think they make like a 200.
Yeah, look at this thing. It's like a car battery, dude. And I've never used it past like 10% under from full. So
what size is that one? Is that like the 250 or 300?
The heck does it say it? Oh, this is the Explorer 500. It's probably what they probably put the number by weight. This weighs about 500 pounds. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, those things are nice. I've been looking at those for a while.
But they're pretty good for night fishing, and even during the day, it's nice because you could sit there and
you can
charge up your phones, laptops, whatever. Just one more toy, right? Yep. One more toy that the fisherman thinks they need, but probably don't.
I'm Southern. We tote the 12-volt battery and hook up everything.
There you go. You drive back your truck up.
We don't take
plug it in the city ladder.
Something that nice, man. That looked almost futuristic to old Southern boy like me. Right? You'd be like, aliens have landed and left a battery pack. I do have lithium batteries on my boat, so I guess I'm a little bit higher up, but look at Jay thinks I'm gonna do a giveaway on this. Keep on dreaming, brother. I have to sell plasma to get this bad boy. I'm keeping it. And a kidney. Those things are expensive. I looked and I thought, I wonder how much one of those things are. That's okay. Yeah. Well, these are crazy. Yeah, you can actually plug in like regular AC appliances. So you can get the solar panel for that too. Yeah, no, I have a solar panel. I have a solar panel, and that's the sad thing is I got a 500-watt solar panel that folds out. I bought it at the same time because in my head I see myself on the banks charging this. I don't even use 10% of this, dude. Them solar cells never came out of the box. They're back there, dude.
I should probably do those on a giveaway. I'm just silly like that though, dude. I don't know. Solar
Overkill,
panels.
Need it.
Solar
overkill
panels.
middle name.
Yeah, I gotta. You know what? The first thing, if we're talking about do's and don'ts. Here's a don't. Don't buy a house with a basement if you're a fisherman. You're just gonna fill it with crap you're never gonna use. That's my do and don't.
I agree.
I've got
Right.
a full basement and a 42 by 28 garage.
You probably got all kinds of stuff in there you don't even know anymore. Dude, I go on Amazon, I'm like, that looks good, and I buy it, and it comes, and then I find the one that I have, new in package. I do this all the time, dude. I got too much
Yeah.
junk.
I hear you.
I guess there's worse problems to have.
Well, we're winding down towards the end. I just wonder if anybody else has any more questions at all about, hey, the things we've been talking about tonight. Questions about fishing, about the guard dogs, or any events coming up, or have you guys have any events you want to talk, want us to give a shout out for? Let us know in the last 5 minutes we got going on for sure.
Heck yeah. We're about community, guys. So, like I said,
Yep.
if you got something you want to share with the community, throw it on out there.
Yeah.
As long as it's PETA approved. Has nothing else to do with nightlife of adults, like hookers and stuff.
Yeah, I started saying we got a hooker on here. How much worse can we go downhill?
Right? Hookers, swingers,
Swing, guys,
PETA.
God
Yeah,
out.
we're hitting all the check boxes today. We'll have nobody left to watch us pretty soon.
Well, that's my catchphrase. I'm a hooker, or you.
JB said,
How's it going, Woody? You just caught
Yeah.
the last of the show. Been traveling.
"What's up, Woody? That's my boy." Yeah, he ain't talked to me in about 3 days. I think he's divorced me.
Uh-oh.
Our wives say we have a bromance. I don't know what that's supposed to be. but
Bromance.
it's a bromance.
That's what my wife says about my fishing and fishing with buddies.
Good to see you in there, brother.
All
Well,
right. Well, ready to wrap her up.
yeah, it's been great. I appreciate you coming on, Daryl and Steve, hanging out and
Yeah.
talking to everybody.
Anytime.
It was a good time.
Yeah,
We'll see if we can get some more of our fine pro staff folks want to come up and have a
I
chat.
agree, Steve.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Always,
Okay.
anytime. I always like to get up and talk about fishing. I'm gonna tell you that's the second most or third most important thing I got. It's family, God, and fishing, buddy. The outdoors. So I
Well.
should say God, family, and the outdoors. How about it that way? So
Got to get the order right, right?
that's right. That's right. So keep our priorities right. But I definitely enjoy talking about it and trying products and making them work and having a good time with them for sure. So
No, I
thanks
had a
for
good
letting
time
me
tonight.
Oh,
I had a
I'm
good
all
night,
about
and
it.
yep.
with
Thanks
my-
to everyone that joined us in chat. Really had a good time with you all. Hope to see you next week.
Yep.
Anybody
Take
wanna-
care, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you on the next one, guys.
See you
Keep
guys.
on hooking.
Keep on hucking.